Hi, I'm Nicole Slowey. I'm the Operations Director here at Qdos, and in this video today we'll be talking about the misguided truth that contractors are tax dodgers. There has been a long-standing misconception that contractors are tax dodgers at the more extreme end of a spectrum, or in fact just simply individuals who don't pay the taxes that they should be due at the less extreme end of the spectrum. The reality, in fact, is actually quite different. Now, in terms of what it is that feeds that misconception, one of the key areas is the difference between the taxes that companies pay versus the taxes that individuals pay. Now, as a limited company contractor and being the director of a limited company, contractors will be subject to corporation tax on any profits that they make. Now, depending upon the level of profits that their company makes, that will determine the specific rate of corporation tax that they could pay, which ranges between 19 to 25%. Now, when you think about the rates of income tax, those rates aren't actually a million miles away from that. Now, again, in their capacity as directors of their own limited companies, contractors have the ability to remove funds or extract funds from their companies. Now, those funds, when they are extracted, are themselves then subject to additional tax in the form of dividend tax. Now, over the last few years, there have been lots of changes around the dividend tax-free allowance, as well as the dividend tax rates themselves. Taking all of these facts into consideration, the difference between taxes paid by limited company contractors versus taxes paid by those who are employed isn't actually vastly different. And in most cases, individuals will in fact find themselves on an even playing field when it comes to actually looking at some case studies and examples of how much tax is actually paid as a proportion of an individual's earnings. Catchy headlines are a necessity for media outlets, news sites, and reporters. And there's no easier way to do that than by using big figures when it comes to potential tax liabilities in the event of reporting on any IR35 related cases. One such case that we have seen that actually playing out is the Gary Lineker case. Now, the headlines reported that Mr. Lineker was facing a tax bill or potential liabilities of £4.9 million. What the headlines fail to report is the taxes that would already have been paid by Mr. Lineker and via his partnership. Now, whilst that doesn't make for a great headline, it's incorrectly making the impression that in fact contractors and people like Mr. Lineker are actually avoiding the taxes that they should in fact be paying, when the reality is they will have in fact be paying taxes as a matter of course of conducting their business activities with the support of accountants and potential financial advisors. Incorrect perceptions have consequences. Now, when you have a population of the flexible working community and contractors having been branded or tagged or labelled with this idea of being tax dodgers, it makes it much easier for the government and HMRC to introduce regulation to actually correct this perceived loss in tax. In addition to that, I don't doubt for a second that the engagement of hirers and recruitment agencies also isn't actually influenced by this misconception that exists around contractors' tax position. In an age where we have a huge amount of pressure to ensure that we are reporting facts, to ensure that we're accurately giving representations of the truth and the reality of a situation, it's really unfair that contractors themselves have been subject to such kind of mistruths and disbeliefs around their tax position, when, as we know, the reality is much, much different, and that the way in which our tax system is designed, where we have limited company contractors versus employees, and the way in which those different types of individuals or workers are actually taxed, isn't too different when you actually look at the sums and the figures surrounding the situation. Thank you for watching this video today. If you want to stay up to date with the news that Qdos brings to you, please subscribe to our channel.